First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh, to this world, ignorantly calls God. Yahushai, to this world, ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's on the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I wanted to go into how the Balfour Declaration is prophetic. Right, the Balfour Declaration is prophetic. Okay, and pretty much the Balfour Declaration is pretty much what made those Jewish people go into the Holy Land. Right, I'm gonna read the definition. It says the Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then an Ottoman region with a small minority Jewish population. Right, so this Balfour Declaration, written by Earl of Balfour, or Arthur James Balfour, was pretty much a statement by the British government supporting the JOOs, right, the Jews. Okay, another definition. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, right, the same thing we just read. Okay, and this declaration is pretty much what led to the Jewish people going into the Holy Land. Salakia, let me get some water. But this declaration is pretty much what made it accessible for these Jewish people to start going into the Holy Land. Okay, and this was in 1917. They didn't fully go in until 1948. Okay, I searched up Balfour Declaration, 1948, and it goes into it here. It says, the Balfour Declaration is widely seen as a precursor to the 1948 Palestinian Nakba, when Zionist armed groups who were trained by the British forcibly expelled more than 750 Palestinians from their homeland. Right, so these Jewish people, right, backed by the British, which was pretty much backed by Lord Rothschild, pretty much kicked out these Palestinians from the homeland. Okay, and that's where we have the whole conflict of today. It goes back to this right here. Okay, of Israel versus Palestine. This is because these Jewish people absolutely just destroy these Palestinians for no reason, right? Trying to say that they're the holy people and they're coming back to take the home. They're coming back to take Israel, right? That their birthright. When in actuality, majority of those people with those little small black hats are not even Israelites. They're actually Edomites. Okay, and scriptures talk about how when the true Israelites go back to the Holy Land, it's going to be at the hand of the Messiah. Okay, the true Israelites are not supposed to go back to the homeland, okay, by their own will, by their own accord, okay, forcibly expelling people. It's going to happen by Yahushai doing it. Let's actually read that. Let's see, Jeremiah 16. Right, Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, right, North America, Babylon the Great, because here is going to be the great salvation / destruction. It says, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, right, because we've been scattered throughout all four corners of the earth. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. It says, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. And that's the point, is that he, okay, the Lord, Yahweh, via his son Yahushai, is going to bring them. Who's the them? Israel. He's going to bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Okay, and this hasn't happened yet. Right? This is after the salvation. After the salvation / destruction, the Lord is going to take the Israelites back unto the Holy Land. Okay, so this is proof. Okay, this is proof that those people over there aren't the true people, because the Lord hasn't came back. He is not known by this title yet. Okay, but going into the Balfour Declaration, I said it was prophetic because it was prophesied that the Edomites, which those people in the Holy Land right now with the small little black hats, They are Edomites. They are not Israelites. They are Edomites. But it was prophesied that they would pretty much rule the Holy Land unrighteously. Okay, let's read it. So in Ezekiel chapter 36, in verse 2 it says, "Thus saith Yahweh, because the enemy hath said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession." Right, that's exactly what happened. Okay, all of our enemies, okay, every single one of them is against us. Okay, and the two main culprits right now, okay, or two main enemies right now are the Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, and the Edomites, so-called white people, which they are the ones inhabiting our ancient high places, the Holy Land right now. It says, and when you jump down to verse 5, this is really the point. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." Okay, so it's saying that the heathen, right, all the other nations, and this is specifically talking about the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, and the Idumeans, which the Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Okay, Edom, going into Esau. Okay, and the Edomites are the so-called white people. It says that the heathens and the Edomites have appointed his land into their possession. They're ruling it right now. It says with the joy of all their hearts, right? They rejoiced because of it. Okay, that's exactly what the Balfour Declaration is. Okay, that's why I said it was prophecy. Okay, the Balfour Declaration in 1917 written, and the 1948 pretty much when these people went into the land in 1948, that was all prophecy of this scripture right here. Okay, let's read what the Balfour Declaration says. When you go into it, it says, "Dear Lord Rothschild," right? Because hey, this was all backed by the Rothschilds when you go into it. It says, "I have much pleasure. I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which have been submitted to and approved by the cabinet." Right, so he has much pleasure showing Rothschild that, hey, we're making plans to go into the Holy Land, just as you wanted, right? And when you go back to Ezekiel 36, it says that they have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their hearts. Okay, with the joy of all their hearts, I have much pleasure. That's prophetic. It says His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the righteous and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Okay? So, hey, that's straight out the book. We just read it. Okay, another prophecy going into how the Holy Land was going to be ran down by other people that are not Israelites is in Luke chapter 21 and verse 20, all the way to 24. Okay? Get some water. And it says, and this was Yahweh Shai prophesying about 70 AD. Right? And 70 AD was pretty much when the temple got sacked. Right? The siege of Jerusalem. Right? They actually have a picture of this over there in I forgot where it's at. The Ark of Titus. They have a picture of this over there in Rome, going into how the Romans attacked the Israelites. Right, and here you can see they have the menorah. Okay, and they're taking all types of goods. Right, this picture right here is inside this ark on the left side and on the right. Let me see if I can get a better picture. This is pretty much the picture. Right, Romans absolutely sacking the temple, taking the menorah. Okay, and everything that was in there. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, it's this right here. It's inside the ark, that picture, which is still standing to this day. Right, this is real history. So when you go into 70 AD, it's pretty much when the temple got sacked. It tells you here 70 AD. It says the siege of Jerusalem of 70 CE was the decisive event of the first Jewish-Roman war, in which the Roman army led by future Emperor Titus besieged Jerusalem, the center of Jewish rebel resistance in the Roman province of Judea. Following a 5 month siege, the Romans destroyed the city and the second Jewish temple. Okay? And that's exactly what happened. So this, okay, what we're about to read in Luke 21 was Yahushua before that happened prophesying about that. And he says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right, so he said that, right, if you're in the Holy Land and this happens, hey, pretty much scatter out, right, dip. Okay, let them that are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let them which are in the midst of it depart out, right, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto, because war was going to be taking place. It says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right, because what was written right here was ultimately prophesied in Daniel the 9th chapter. Okay, it was prophesied in Daniel the 9th chapter, if I remember correctly. Let me check. Going into the prophecy of the 7 weeks, or the 70 weeks. Okay, I made a video about this on my channel. It's probably like a Daniel 9 prophecy 70 weeks. You could go into it, but right. And for the spreading and overspreading of abominations, right, the abomination of desolation, right here it talks about how the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that term shall be poured upon the desolate. That was prophecy, right? Because when you search up, that was talking about the temple being sacked in 70 A.D. When you search up the abomination desolation, right, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15, it says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Right, going into what Daniel said in Daniel chapter 9. Right, let me pull it on the side so I can compare. Right, the abominations desolation. That's what he was going into. Okay, and it says, then let him which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, unto them that give suck in those days. Right, going into how, hey, if you're with child, hey, pray that you don't have a child in that time, because it was going to be difficult. Okay, and it was difficult. Pretty much our people, okay, after the temple got sacked, hey, we scattered throughout the entire earth. Okay, and our people primarily went into northern and western Africa, and they dwelt there for a minute. Okay, dwelt there for a massive minute. A lot of the so-called medieval dark times, that's where we were at. Okay, we were also ruling all of Europe. Okay, but from there, that's where we got sold as slaves by the Hamites, the real Africans, to the Grecians, the Edomites, so-called Americans. Okay, so when we go back to Luke 21, this is what it's talking about. Okay, so then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that are give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay, and that's the part we're in right now. Okay, it says that after this destruction happens, that the Jerusalem is going to be trodden down. Okay, and it's going to be ran down. It's going to be inhabited by the Gentiles, the other nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. What is the times of the Gentiles? When their kingdom, this kingdom goes down, and Yahushua comes back and starts ruling. And that hasn't happened yet. Right, so by using some logic, that means that the Gentiles are still trotting down the land. And that's what we're seeing right now in Israel. That's what we're seeing right now in Israel. Okay, the Gentiles trotting down the land. Okay, and this actually goes into a scripture I have here in Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 10. It says, let favor be showed to the wicked, talking about the Edomites, yet will he not learn righteousness. Right now, the Edomites have been giving the pretty much the mercy, okay, the opportunity to rule the entire world, but they're doing it in wickedness. Okay, they've been giving the plate, okay, but they're doing it in wickedness. It says, in the land of uprightness, Jerusalem, Israel, will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. And that's what we're seeing right now. In the land of uprightness, will he deal unjustly? This is unjust. This is wickedness. Okay? Here it is. You're supposed to be in the Holy Land, a land that is supposed to be sacred. Okay? A land that is supposed to uphold the law, statutes, and commandments. And here it is. They have the damn near one of the biggest gay parades in the world. Right? It says the next one is 7 days. Right? Join Israel's two-day gay event. Okay? That's insane. Okay. Salakia. Ah, I had a sneeze. But this is the scripture being fulfilled. One more time. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. Okay? So, ultimately, the point has been established is that I started this just proving the point of the Balfour Declaration. Right, this was prophetic. The fact that he said, "I have much pleasure in conveying to you." Now it says it in Ezekiel, "With the joy of all their heart, they've appointed my land into their possession." Right, and then you pull Luke chapter 21, goes into how the land was going to be trodden down by the Gentiles. Right, which ultimately this was all prophesied even before, right, all the way in the Old Testament by Daniel. Okay, which when you go into it, it all goes together. So I'll leave it at that. Hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom, see you like Shalom.